time you kind of learn to move on, and my younger son got married, happily married, and things are just moving.
And in your estimation, all of this could have been avoided?
Absolutely, absolutely. But that's where divinity and God and other things come in, that we're helpless actually.
Well, with the OTC usage and so forth.
And the media, the lifestyle that some of our youth choose, it's extremely discouraging. I mean, what can parents do? I mean, it's very difficult. You have a culture outside the home, which is a different culture. We're living in a country where it's a melting pot. You have all kinds of, different people living here. And then they come home and there's this Indian culture, where my mother is praying and, my father is doing this, and, they have to kind of go through these different cultures inside, outside the home, and which is nothing wrong, but sometimes you never know, what kind of triggers in your mind, how you perceive yourself, and what you do and what you don't do.
But Ahmed's death triggered you to write a book and to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It just triggered me to basically chronicle, just write about my journey and his life, short life, and also about the OTC, which is on my mind, the supplements.
So the book comes out. How long does it take you to write it? Why do you call it The Last Smile, and what happens after that?
Well, The Last Smile, as I have written in the book, when the 911, when I called them and they were taking him, out into that little vehicle. So his body, was in front of me, and I could see his feet, and and he was inside. So I was trying to just play with his feet like I always did when he was a child, and even when he was older, would like to play with him. So I did that, and he smiled.
That's the last time your son smiled?
And that was the last time he smiled. And I was amazed, like what made him smile. He knew exactly that it was me who was touching him. That's very interesting. And he gave a very nice smile, as if nothing had happened to him, as if he was just fine. So that's what came in my mind when I was in that meditation class.
So you remember that class, the day and
Yes.
where and all that?
Yes, I'll always remember it. And it's a good thing for everybody to calm yourself down and close your eyes, and 10-15 minutes. I think it's healthy for everyone, because it's not religious. It's just more about spirituality.
So you write the book.
So I started writing the book actually in he passed away in March, and it was, I think, June, and then it took almost 7-8 months off and on. And then finally in December last year, we had our first book release, book signing, which was received very well. A lot of our local politicians attended, and they have been attending my other book signings, which happened after that. So the book has been received well. It's just that you have to do some marketing and reach out to people. It's not easy. But we're doing it slowly.
What does the basic tenet of the book say? What is it that what is your research, in essence, you've come to some sort of conclusion, which is what?
Well, the conclusion is basically about the youth going through so many different things in this country. And again, it's now not only this country, but it's also the countries where America's influence is predominant, even India. You know, you have this, you know, the media is playing a role. You have all these advertisements, you know, that the emphasis is on looks more than anything else, how you should look. You know, you should weigh so much and you should be slim and you should be muscular or you should be whatever. So there's an image that has been projected, and I think it's the media, it's the big business, which like big pharma, you know.
You mean the pharmaceutical companies?
Pharmaceutical companies, and like big pharma, I'll just, you know, basically tell you that they are a bad news. I mean, not only they are controlling the physicians, not only are they controlling the members of Congress or Senate, but they're also controlling the FDA and everyone, because it's a billions of dollars industry.
Well, let's get into that, and let's begin from the beginning, which is, so in essence, the book, you blame these supplements as part of the reason why your son's heart muscle deteriorated to the point where he passed away?
Absolutely. We have all those supplements that he has been consuming. And
you took them aside?
Yeah.
And what did the doctors tell you? Did they say that this was some sort of lethal cocktail that might have contributed to his death? They're not sure. They think that, you know, what did they tell you?
The doctor exactly said the same thing what you just said, but he could not obviously say this about him because he doesn't know him. He just saw him, you know, only those 3 days he saw him, and he's basically relying on what I gave him. You know, I gave him all those supplements which he had been consuming.
How many were there?
There were about 6 or 7 different supplements, and that's where the problem is. You know, as I said, those ingredients, you know, when it becomes a cocktail, and that's where the big problem, you know, begins. But the doctor obviously is not going to make a statement because, you know, he doesn't know. He only sees the results.
No family history of heart disease. A young man in good shape. This doesn't make sense. Again, this doesn't connect. In your mind, are you absolutely convinced that these supplements contributed to your son's death?
100% convinced. But then, you know, I'm not a physician. It can happen at any stage. I understand that even at my age, you can have an eating disorder. You can have any kind of disorder at any stage. But in his case, I am 100% sure about this because I saw it myself, and I know that since 2004 he had been going to gym a lot and he had been relying on these supplements so much. So,
has your research indicated that other people have had medical issues or, you know, premature death as a result of these?
in fact, during the book signing, I met several people that I knew before, but I came to know that there are so many young people exactly that age, you know, between 27 and 30, who have perished.
Dr. Cole, as the national spokesperson for the American Dietetic Association and your extensive academic background in nutrition, we were hoping that you could shed some light on dietary supplements today. Let's start with, what exactly is a dietary supplement?
A dietary supplement is any dietary ingredient which is used as a supplement to the regular meal.
And how many people approximately in the United States consume dietary supplements?
Approximately 80,000.
Wow. And what demographic is predominantly consumes them?
At some few years ago, it was mostly elderly who wanted a miraculous cure or extend the life. But now, for many years, more and more younger people want to take it for building body and being healthy.
And how readily available or accessible are dietary supplements?
Oh, very easily. You can get them from gym, food stores, drug stores. There is marketing on the internet, and they are very widely available.
What information must the manufacturer disclose on the label of a dietary supplement?
Oh, the manufacturer definitely must put their location of the business and all the information where to contact, and each and every ingredient which is in the food supplement, and also some basic nutrition facts.
And what is a new dietary ingredient?
New dietary ingredient, if they are incorporating a new dietary ingredient about which there is no information, they have to show it to the FDA that it is safe, and some studies have been done.
What is the Food and Drug Administration's role in regulating dietary supplements?
Food and Drug Administration do not regulate it strictly because it comes under food and not under drugs. Drugs, as opposed, are very strictly regulated, but they are not regulated food supplements.
And does the FDA routinely analyze the content of dietary supplements?
No, they do not. The burden is on the manufacturers as well as the consumers.
So who then has the responsibility for ensuring that a dietary supplement is safe?
Manufacturers who manufacture. All they have to do is inform the FDA that this is the one they're going to manufacture, ingredients and all, and they can go ahead.
And so if somebody has an illness as a result of taking a dietary supplement, how do they go about reporting that?
There is a site, FDA, they can report there, and there's a telephone number. If they can't get access on the internet, they can get it, or they can get information from their doctor. But there is a site. But FDA says that first contact your manufacturer, and sometimes manufacturer may not give you all the information or does not know, so it's best to contact FDA. If they have a lot of people, consumers complaining, then they might ask the manufacturers to withdraw.
And is it legal to market dietary supplement, a supplementary product treatment or cure for a specific disease or condition?
No, that will be illegal if you are claiming that you can cure some disease. But if you just say it's a supplement that may help, but that will be illegal.
Where can I get information about specific dietary supplements?
You can go, there's a site on dietary supplementation, and you can look under FDA site, and then there is dietary supplement, and they also might list which have been reported so far for unsafe results.
What are some of the precautions that people consuming dietary supplements should take?
They should first read about it if they're planning to take it, and read it on the net, as well as if they have any medical conditions, and they should check with their physicians if there might be interaction between the supplements and the medications.
And so would it be safe to say that the FDA really does not play a major regulatory role at all?
Not at all.
And in your opinion, what is the best path forward for improving regulations on dietary supplements?
I think the best path is just like drugs. Because so many people are taking, we need to have under FDA a division just for food supplement, and introduce, as we did, the 1994 Act with stringent guidelines. And of course, finally it boils down to the money. They need to, Congress allocate money to run this thing more closely. Many deaths have been reported on this food supplement. So the consumers, the Congress, and we have to work together to pass more strict laws.
Dr. Cole, thank you very much for your time and your insights.
You're welcome.
So the book is basically a vehicle to outline your loss, your life, but primarily it's a vehicle to do what when it comes to these supplements? What would be the next step, the logical next step in your view?
The logical next step is to do exactly what we are doing today, Jim. I have written the book, and I have already met legislators. I went to Washington, D.C., and I'm doing that part. But I think, you know, thanks to Dean Carter and Sujoy Sarkar, who encouraged me, and they said that, you know, if we have something on record and it is played on TV channels, and then I can be able to send a video to these legislators and to the policymakers and FDA and all these guys, it's going to make a difference. You know, I can do a lot more with this than I can do physically. I mean, how far can I go? I mean, and how many people can I see? And you know, it's not logistically possible. But this is what I am going to do. I'm going to basically, we have this foundation in Amit's name, which was actually conceived.
What is the website, by the way?
It is AmitZutshi.com.
And spell that for me.
A-M-I-T, Amit,
Right.
and Zutshi, Z-U-T-S-H-I, which is our last name, Amit Zutshi Foundation.
.com. Okay. What is it that you want them to do?
It's basically awareness, that you basically tell them to have a legislation on the floor.
In a perfect world, better safeguards, potentially more monitoring, more active participation by the FDA. What has the response been to your book, to Amit's story, to your efforts? What has it been like so far in terms of trying to get this done?
You're nailing me down. I'm on record, Jim. I mean, the response has been poor.
Poor.
I have several congressmen, members of the Congress, who are very close, like a family. And when I went to Washington, you know, we had a book signing, and they all bought the book, and they had a staffer who was assigned to work with me. In fact, Congressman Pete Stark was wonderful enough to schedule a meeting with FDA directors, and I had a meeting with them. I talked to them in depth. However, nothing ever was done, and this was January.
January 2010.
And 7 months, 8 months, you know, later, nothing has happened. No one, no staffer ever called me back. The FDA people never called me back. And in fact, when I left the office of Congressman Mike Honda, what was decided was that there should be a legislation, and some legislation which had been introduced back in 1993 and had been killed because of all these letters of support which came from the public. Nonsense. I mean, why is public going to send letters of support in favor of, you know, some legislation, against some legislation? And I am right now trying my hard to see that we have a legislation on the floor.
Federal legislation.
Federal legislation. And I'm also now trying to see that at the state level, we're able to do something about it. You know, I mean, I also have to work to make a living, and this is not the only job I have, so it gets very difficult to, you know, do all this. But I think I'm doing reasonably well. A single person is doing reasonably well in reaching out.
Do you have at this point, Jivan, the ability, the will, the physical and mental stamina that it's going to take to get that legislation passed? You know,
I think that knowing several congressmen and senators, I think some of them are very reasonable people. And I'm very sure, I mean, if I lived in Washington, D.C., I'm sure I could be just, you know, visiting their offices on an everyday basis. But being in California, I mean, it gets very difficult. But there are some reasonable people, and I'm sure that one day they will definitely think about it again. Since it was done in 1993, I'm sure it will not be very difficult for them to do it again.
You know, years ago, I interviewed the founder of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and it took her 7 years before people started taking her seriously.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if, are you prepared to wait that long to get something passed and looked at and supervised and monitored the way you want it to be?
Well, you know, I really believe in the system. I believe in the goodness of the people around us here. And I'm very sure that, you know, I'll get a lot of support. And, you know, once we have this tool of reaching out to people and telling them the story, I'm very positive that we'll have a lot of response, positive response.
Tell me about the book itself. What's it about? How do people obtain it?
The book, in fact, The Last Smile.
Is it just about your son?
It is, no, in fact, as you said earlier, when you were introducing me, I'm from Kashmir, which is the northernmost part of India. And it's stripe-torn. There's a lot of things happening, and past 20 years, it has been basically, you can say Kashmir has been burning. And we have been very involved in, basically, at some human level, you know, humanitarian level, and also trying to educate US Congress and stuff, you know, about India, and which is now, I mean, an established relation between India and USA. They know a lot more now about India. But the book is also about my birthplace, because this is the journey of my life, so I had to say where I'm coming from, where my father and my grandfather, where they were born. So it's about our family, about Kashmir, about the history of Kashmir, and then about Amit, my son, and about these supplements. It's a very well-researched chapter 17. It is very well-researched. I had some help from...
And you specifically outlined the supplements and so forth?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I had help from someone who is a nutritionist in Washington, D.C.
And how do you obtain the book?
You know, book can be bought, actually, if one goes to the website, it'll be very easy.
Which is?
It's on Amazon.com also, The Last Smile. But if you go to the website, like I said earlier, it's...
Go ahead and repeat it again.
AmitZutshi.com. Amit is the name of my son, A-M-I-T. And Zutshi is our last name, Z-U-T-S-H-I. So it's AmitZutshi.com.
And you just follow the prompts?
And yeah, I mean, when you open the website, you just have the book right there, and you have so much information that I'm slowly collecting. And the website is new. So we're building it up, and we have articles and other things on it which talk about the supplements.
So it's really awakened you and your family?
It is definitely, you know, and I think I'm definitely going to spend a lot more time in making sure that there's awareness about whatever is going on. You know, the supplement manufacturers, the FDA, physicians, and, you know, I'm actually going to have series of seminars now on, you know, basically different health-related issues.
Well, hopefully this program will help. Thank you very, very much for spending time with us. It was a real pleasure.
It really is a pleasure.
The book is The Last Smile. The author, Jivan Suchi, A Father's Love Story, A Journey of Hope. It's available on Amazon.com, also on the AmitZutshi.com website. You've been watching a special production here on KCTH Channel 27. My name is Jim Weeder. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.